Hi soap fans, so in this video I'm going to show you how I do 1-bar batches of soap, and this is a great way to do things if you just want to test out a soap recipe but you don't want to risk wasting a whole entire loaf worth of product in case the recipe does not turn out to your liking. And please excuse my measuring cup laying in the sink over there. I have been using it off and on, and I just sort of grab it and use it whenever I need to. But I am wearing these gloves today. They are kind of big and awkward. I use these for my heat gun when I'm doing shrink wrapping, but I am all out of my disposable rubber gloves. I'm gonna have to go to the store and pick some more up pretty soon. Yeah, you will see me wearing these big goofy things for this particular video. Alright, so in here I've got my lye water. It's cooling off. It's just about ready. This container I've got my oils that are already pre-measured and melted. And here is my fragrance from Brambleberry. And for this little batch, I'm using my mini stick mixer. Some people call it a milk frother, but I mean, it's excellent for mixing micas or for doing small batches. And this is my oat milk because I'm making an oat milk soap. And of course, we have my smaller gram scale, since there is so little of each ingredient and we want to be as accurate as possible. And I am not using any colorants in this one. It's going to be a natural bar. I usually don't with my test batches, so that if there is a problem, I know whether it's the recipe or the additives. And of course, I'm using this 6-cavity single bar mold here. This is really soft and lightweight, so I put it on a small cutting board that I got at the Dollar Tree. It's just the right size, and I can pick it up and move my soap around as needed. Trust me, if you tried to do this without something flat and solid underneath it, you would have such a mess everywhere. It would just spill and flop around. Alright, so here are my oils. It's a combination of olive oil, coconut oil, sustainable palm oil, a little bit of avocado oil, and some castor oil. So this is meant to be a nourishing bar that cleanses gently, hence the oat milk. Okay, so now I'm going to take my lye water and I'm going to pour it through this little sieve to strain out the lye lint. I usually do that whenever I do see some lye lint in there because look at those little chunks. If you see little flakes and chunks floating on top, when you know that you have mixed it extremely well, that is just lye lint. It's not harmful, but we don't want little flakes in our soap. It would ruin the look, right? So I'm going to swish that all about, and I'm going to be adding my oat milk at trace. You can also just add it to your oils. Both work just fine. I'm going to go ahead and turn this little stick mixer on, and we're going to bring this to a light trace. Okay, I think I've got it about where I want it. A little more than a light trace, but that's okay. It's still very fluid and very pourable, and we are not going to be adding any colors in, but you can see that it is clinging to my mixer and it's not separating, so that's how you know it is emulsified. Now I've added my fragrance oil to my oat milk. I'm just going to add this into my traced soap and blend it in. And this we're going to blend by hand because we don't want it to get any thicker. It's already starting to get pretty thick, and it's still pourable though, so I'm not worried about it at all. But yeah, I would not use a stick mixer anymore on this, or you're going to end up with soap on a stick pretty soon here, or you're going to have to, at the very least, you'll have to spoon it into your mold, which I don't want. And now it is time to pour. I'm just going to get as much of this in there as possible, as neatly as possible. And I am going to need to scrape some of this out, and look at me, I'm making a mess everywhere. That's okay, I'll just wipe it up. No big deal. But yeah, when you're working with such a small batch, you definitely want to scrape out as much as you can because you don't want to waste any of your soap here. So I'm just going to kind of scoop it over, flatten it out a little bit with my spatula, get it a little more evenly distributed. And now I'm just going to sort of shimmy this around and get the top level. And as always, we spray the top with 91 to 99% rubbing alcohol. I bought this sprayer at a craft store and I love it because it does such a fine mist. You don't get those heavy droplets like you do with other mini sprayers. This is so amazing. I think they designed it specially for this. And we use the rubbing alcohol because we don't want soda ash. It's like a ashy, grayish, white, powdery, dusty film that forms on the outside of your soap. And it doesn't hurt anything, it's not harmful, but it can look kind of ugly and it can mess up your design. So we don't want that. And we're also going to take some clear plastic cling wrap and lay that over the top and make sure that all of the edges and the top are sealed. All of the oxygen is sealed out, because sealing out the oxygen is what prevents soda ash too. I live in a very humid climate, so I am plagued with soda ash, and I have to take every precaution against it. Otherwise, it will certainly happen if I don't. These are the steps I take. So if you live in a humid climate, please take these steps too, and you'll have a more positive soaping experience, and your soaps won't be riddled with soda ash. So I'm just going to tuck these edges under and press, and that alcohol sort of sticks to the plastic and helps form a better seal. I don't wrap it any better than this, honestly. I just leave it as is, and I set it up out of the way where nobody can get at it. You know, I don't have any pets, but put it somewhere that pets can't get it. You could stick it in a closet and shut the door if you want, if that's the only place that your pet won't get it. Like you have a really curious cat or something. But now I'm going to wait 24 hours and I'm going to unmold this. Now, speaking of 1-bar batches, I did 2 others. The white one that's closest to the screen, that is 100% coconut oil soap. And this one is my 100% olive oil soap. And I accidentally dented it with my thumb when it was coming out of the mold because it was still a bit soft, but it's okay. I just use it as like a little gripping point, no big deal. And what's strange is that although it is a softer soap, this one actually came out super hard. And it also lathers better than most of the olive oil soaps I've used. It's not really like slimy. The bubbles are just much nicer, so I'm not sure. I did put some sodium lactate in it to help it harden, so that's probably why it firmed up so beautifully. I mean, like I said, it was kind of sticky when I first took it out, but 2-3 days later, it was hard as a rock. But yeah, this is a great way to test out new batches and new recipes without wasting a ton of product. Alright, it has been 24 hours and we are going to unmold this single bar batch. It is already pretty firm, so we're ready to go. I'm going to peel off the plastic and pop it out of here and see if it's as firm as it seems to be all the way through. I'm just going to pull on the sides and the ends to sort of loosen it, and then all I'll have to do is push up from the bottom and release it from the mold. Alright, clean and easy, exactly the way I wanted it. This actually came out beautiful. It looks a lot like my olive oil soap, but we know it's oat milk, and I could smell it from here. It's not an incredibly strong smell, but it is a very nice smell. It's like a warm, sweet smell. It's the Brambleberry oatmeal milk and honey fragrance. So I'm going to go ahead and cure this for 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, that's it. I hope this helps you out and helps you save a lot of product and a lot of money testing out new recipes. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please subscribe, and also click the bell notification so that when I do put up a new video, you'll be notified about it. Have a great day and go make some soap.